Hi guys, my name is Zeneve Jacotin, and I'm going to be talking about how Star Trek has influenced technological advancements, the motives for space exploration, and what it means for humanity. So, it's no secret that Star Trek has had at least some influence on the inspirations for technologies that are seen in modern society. Look at beam badges that could emulate a Bluetooth-related technology. Data pads could also be known as phones or mobile devices. Large flat-screen displays that we better know as televisions or monitors. So, the list continues, but that's not necessarily the focus for today. So, if Star Trek has influenced visions for existing technologies, what does this mean for future technologies? Could humanity become a multi-planetary civilization? Well, it's certainly possible. As you likely know, due to news articles and stories and such, Elon Musk has intentions of sending humans to Mars in the not-too-distant future. However, he isn't alone. The most notable competitors to Musk are Jeff Bezos with Blue Origin and Richard Branson with Virgin Galactic. But it brings me to a question. Why do they want to go to space? Why do they want to be the first to send humans farther than NASA has? Well, one thing these men have in common is that they're all billionaires. When do billionaires spend their money? When they are making investments. So even though they might say that creating an interplanetary humanity is for the sole benefit of humanity, a successful mission would be incredibly profitable, and they know that. This exact dynamic is shown in Star Trek First Contact. Zefram Cochrane, a famous scientist in the Star Trek franchise, was the first person to invent a spaceship that could travel at warp speed. In the movie, something happens that causes the Enterprise to go back in time, and as well as Earth. So the antagonists of the movie are trying to prevent Cochrane from making history that day. So Starfleet officers of the Enterprise go to Earth and make sure everything goes according to history. But Cochrane gets overwhelmed by how idolized everyone is making him out to be, and he lashes out. He says, "You want to know what my vision is? Dollar signs, money. I didn't build the ship to usher in a new era for humanity. Think I want to see the stars? I don't even like to fly." So even though this is a fictional interaction, it's very indicative of the track these billionaires are on, should they be met with success. So the short-term benefiters are those who invest their money. But what are the capitalist relations in regards to space exploration? So, the whole situation begs the question, would we achieve this futuristic, multi-planetary civilization if there weren't monetary incentives? Well, due to the current capitalist model, I think the answer is no. And as a result, I think that these capitalist values would probably be carried into the new society in space. And if that's the case, the societal inequities would be taken along with it too. So this creates a really tough situation. We're in a tough position where space exploration is seen as something that will benefit humanity in the long run because there's a clean slate. But if we carry the corrupt values from Earth into space, then what's the point? Can we even achieve this vision without it being in capitalism's best interest? So it's a scary thought, but I think that the only feasible way that we'll get to an interplanetary humanity is if there are monetary incentives to motivate humanity. One of the texts I read talked about the profitability of the cosmos and the future of humans in space. Of course, there were mentions of SpaceX and how they are a very successful commercial company, and they managed to be the first commercial company that had ever docked with the International Space Station. But the text's main focus was on how these US-based entrepreneurs are aiming to commercialize outer space. There was one line that stood out to me, and it said, "The key prerequisite of an entrepreneurial company is to produce an investment return for its investors." In addition, the author of the article asked interviewees a question. He said, "If I could offer you a one-way ticket to Mars with no hope of return, but a guarantee that your basic survival needs would be met, would you take it?" Many of them had conditional answers like, if I could communicate with Earth, or if I could take my significant other, or if I could take my family, or if I could make a difference with a group, but apparently the majority said yes. And that makes me think, why? Well, the answer is a bit expected, and it's to make a lot of money. So I presented these two quotes to identify the real cause for Musk and the others for going to Mars. There's money to be made. In fact, upon being interviewed, Musk has said that they need to bring in more money than spend, otherwise they'll go out of business. And he even identified that his main competitors are likely in it for the profit. But rocket ship company isn't super profitable, and it's not very easy either. This is what he says. So he says he isn't doing SpaceX for money. He says he truly wants to become a, quote, spacefaring civilization. But it's hard to believe that when there's so many opportunities for major returns. So ultimately, these capitalist roots are so deeply ingrained into humanity that it'll be hard to eradicate. But if we get there, we will begin as Ferengi and work our way up to being like Vulcans or even the humans in Star Trek. So my overall thesis is this. Despite the outward narrative that space exploration is meant to benefit humanity, motives for space exploration and colonization are fueled by monetary incentives. I used Star Trek and History Racing Toward a White Future by Bernardi. I used The Space Barons, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and the Quest to Colonize the Cosmos by Davenport, A Cyborg Manifesto by Haraway, Space Entrepreneurship from the New York Times, Star Trek First Contact, the movie, and Exit Strategy, Profit Cosmology and the Future of Humans in Space by Valentine. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and thank you for watching.